This week, for our 600th episode, we're ranking our top 10 shows of all time. We're picking which 90s animated show we're covering next. All of that and more on an all-new episode of The Superhero Show. What's up, nerds? Welcome to the Superhero Show, the only podcast that dives into the insanity of 90s superhero cartoons, except we are not doing that today, not yet, because we are celebrating, guys, 600 episodes.
Olay, 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 olay.
Yes.
Mike, did you bring up
I wanted to air horn. But
Vuvuzela?
somebody else already air horned? Yes, that's my Methuselah. He's
We did
900 years old.
Vuvuzela? What do they call them? Do you remember those instruments?
Vuvuzela. The vulva.
You gotta blow that vulva for the 600th episode. It's so important, everyone. If you're not celebrating that way, you're not celebrating 600 episodes of the Superhero Show correctly. I am Cassie. It's an honor to host this huge episode. I am joined by the founding fathers themselves, you guys. This show would be nothing without these two. First of all, there's Ryan.
Oh, Cassie, thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. It's also contractually mandated.
Yeah, but it's contractually mandated to have me, but not to blow up my vulva. And I appreciate you doing that.
Well, it's 600, Ryan, obviously. The other founding fodder. This one's the fodder.
Yeah, the founding fodder for your insults. I'm here too, your perpetual whipping boy.
The whipping boy is, of course, Mike. Mike, welcome to 600 episodes.
Hey, thanks for having me. I know there was talk between you two and the board of whether you were even going to allow me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that the vote went my way.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes things come up, Mike, and we'll see if you earn 601. There's a lot on the line for you.
There's 8 members of the board, as we all know, and that vote went 4-4. So then they went to me and Cassie. And so then the vote was 5-5. I will not tell you who voted which way.
It's not important.
And then a coin flip decided that, Mike, welcome back, buddy. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you, Mr. Jefferson, because you flipped a quarter.
I don't know. No country reference, I'm assuming that is.
I was hoping you would know. I can't tell you.
Do we go to the board right now after that reference?
No, I take it back.
Guys, this is a podcast tradition, not just our podcast, but all of them, where whatever you determine an anniversary show, which is every 600, let's say, you stop celebrating what you talk about and you celebrate yourselves.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Clap it
You
out.
just blow each other's vulvas on air.
Cassie, can I mention a couple things real quick?
Go for it. You know what? We're
What if
celebrating.
she
We're in a
said
good
no?
mood.
No, we're moving on.
And then I sit here silently for the rest of the show, like I'm trained to do.
Doing.
Couple of changes that I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we are now the Superhero Show. It's a name change.
Yeah.
And we have a format change
Oh.
where we're just going to cover 90s animation from here on out. And the other job was too hard.
It took 600, well, a little less than 600 to break that because that was just insane what we were doing before.
Do you guys miss it?
No, but have you ever seen a marathon runner get a mile from the end and just go, fuck this, and walk there? That is what we did. We were like, can we do a few more weeks? Nah.
No.
I'm not touching Eyes of Wakanda.
We had to sit down and really have a heart to heart and be like, obviously it's only a couple more episodes, guys. We've done so much. We can do this. And then collectively all collapse together.
It's true, though.
Watch
Honestly,
more
I do
Revival?
Absolutely. I can't, Mike.
You said Revival, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the show, right?
And watch more of Fievel. And I just thought that there was more Fievel coming up.
I watch Fievel Goes West every week. So excited to talk about it. And you guys never throw to me to talk about Fievel.
No, this is a good point to bring up, Mike, right now. It's very on point.
Thank you.
And we knew we'd get to Fievel.
Do you two, who are slightly, and I mean by like a couple turns of pages of the calendar younger than me, do you two understand that Fievel Goes West is the second movie and not the first?
Yes. Second to An American Tail.
Okay. Cassie, do you know who Fievel is?
It's a little mouse.
It is a little mouse.
And that is the extent of my knowledge.
Okay.
I got into near fisticuffs with a coworker because we were talking about, as you do, Fievel. And I said, well, one of those movies is for dumb children and does not hold up. and one was telling an artistic real story about culture, and they did not love that I was shitting on the movie with the fat sheriff cat. That's 50 Goes West.
There's a lot of Back to the Future 2 vibes with people where you're like, one is incredible and the other is fine. And they're like, yeah, Back to the Future 2 is incredible. It's like, oh, okay, I know who you are.
Oh.
Guys, these are all shows.
Fast food every day.
We've never talked about any of these. I want to go back to celebrating comic book based TV shows, if I may, if I can.
Oh, yeah. What were we doing?
Way back in the day, when you guys were, I don't know, 2, you started this podcast. Did you start this at age 2 to get to 600? Did you?
Yeah, it was in 2003. We were both 2. Canonically.
Don't get sassy with me, okay? I'm trying to.
I'm not getting sassy. That's just my voice.
Okay, fair enough then. Then we'll allow you're still back for this next episode, Mike.
No, I understand. It's how I communicate. That's why I'm always on the edge if I'm going to get fired or not.
You're on an episode by episode contract on a fucking podcast.
On a podcast that I started 23 years ago.
Was it actually 23 years ago? That's what I wanted to get to.
We started in 2003, a year before podcasts were invented.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are truly founding fathers.
We called it WTF, Why the Face. And it was about the TV show Superman from the 50s.
Classic. Did you guys ever think you would get here to 600?
I don't know if I thought numbers that big.
Yeah.
But honestly, like we're going to, I think there's 175 TV shows. We started when there was 4, and we looked at each other and went, somebody needs to handle all of the 4 is too many. We should really tackle this.
Yeah,
you young idiots.
You really didn't know what you signed yourself up for later down the road.
And it sucks that, I mean, I'm glad that we're covering 90s cartoons now, but we did almost make it to the very end. Like what we were talking about with Mike's marathon analogy, we're watching the death of it right now. But yeah, I have seen episodes of almost 200 comic book based TV shows. And so like I've seen at least one episode of that many shows. How many episodes in toto have I seen?
Right.
I mean,
unreal.
3,000, 4,000?
More than most people.
I would say
I
would say that I'm in the top 1% of the world.
Yes.
And how many things can you say that about?
That's true. Guinness, get them on the phone right now. Are there awards for losers?
Have you seen the book?
Look how disgusting my nails are. Please award me.
I need an award. There's shows that we have covered when I was trying to find info on them. Nobody on the internet was talking about.
Yeah.
People paid. Their job was to cover these shows and make little blurbs about them. We're not doing it. We were legit the only people.
I mean, like, we're not going to talk about certain shows tonight, right? This is the best about the best of the best, but like, we've been doing this for so long that say like 5 years ago, you were hosting the show or you were writing an intro for a show, and so you'd look it up and it was not on Wikipedia. You would say like, I need to write a little recap based on what Wikipedia says, and it wasn't there.
Nobody even knew these existed.
Which I think makes us like deep diving journalists, really.
Yeah.
Can I say the J word? We're journalists.
Yeah, we are on the front line as journalists.
Journalists
speaking truth
heroes.
to power.
This is the audience's moment to applaud us as heroes.
Speaking truth to power.
That's why we paused for a second. They were all pausing. Ooh, that's a good one. And I mean that. Again, this is just how my voice is. But that was good.
Oh, good
one. Powers.
Well, you guys, it's 600 episodes. It's a big episode. We have a lot to do because we went all out to celebrate this. There is a lot.
And if this is your first episode, delete it. Like, this is all going to be jerking off on our own chest.
Yeah.
Don't listen to this. Move on to 601.
Or do. We're so delightful. Starting it off.
Yeah, what if somebody's like, I've just heard about comic books being turned into television. I need to know what the top 10 are, and I'll just watch those.
Oh, actually, then
this is your show.
This would be a really good episode for you.
Yes, that's what the first thing we're going to do to celebrate 600 episodes is we're going to create an official top 10 list of all these shows we've covered. Mike, you said 172, I think, or something like that?
I think 175. Say it's somewhere around there. Nobody can know. Math is hard.
Math is impossible. There's a lot of them. We are going to make a top 10 for you guys. So if any of these top 10 you haven't checked out, you can guarantee from the experts that these are 10 that you should absolutely check out. And then once we're done with that, we are going to have a little bracket because we just finished Spider-Man the Animated Series, and we have to determine what is the next show we will be covering. So we have a lot to do. There's a lot to celebrate. Let's get right to it. And when we come back, we will be making an official top 10 list. It is time. We are making an official top 10 list of all the shows we've watched.
Cassie, I know we're going to hear our top 10 lists, but we've had a lot of other voices on the show in the 26 years we've been doing it. And 2 of the 18 decided to text me back and actually give us voice notes. So we're going to throw to one of those right now and hear from our good friend, Nate.
Hey there, taste buds. It's Nate, your sometimes guest co-host when Mike is out buying a pack of cigarettes. You can't see me right now, but I've got my banker's lamp out, my adding machine, and one of those visors with the transparent green plastic brim. See, the way I figure it, using a little thing called math, is that with 600 episodes, at about 1 hour an episode, there's somewhere around 36,000 minutes of superhero show. And that translates to 25 days of superhero show. That's nearly a month of earnest super family drama, mutant nostalgia, Gotham Gigas, zombies, Moon Knights, Doom Patrols, disappointing television spin-offs, surprisingly competent television spin-offs, and endless lucky web experiments by an insufferable animated Peter Parker. Thank you all for gifting this amazing, almost month of podcast joy and greatness. Cheers to you all, and here's to 600 more.
Thanks, Nate, for not doing the thing I asked you to do.
That was still very sweet.
So
no,
nice.
That was so sweet.
And also to instantly I love that we instantly proved that we couldn't do math early on this, and then Nate was like, "Hold on, I'm the only one here who can do math."
I did a lot of it.
Yeah,
he has the equipment.
He has a calculator. He's the only one who has access to a calculator.
Do people that use those ever look at the constant printing paper that comes out of the top, or does that just go in the trash?
Right.
That's for the audit. Don't throw that in the trash. The IRS needs that.
That's where we've been going wrong. I have bad news for our taxes. That was very sweet. Thank you so much, Nate. It is time to make an official top 10 list. To do this, how we're doing it, we have each created our own top 10. We'll be going around sharing those, starting with our number 10s, going up to number 1. And as these all have numerical values placed depending on where we've placed them, and this will determine our official top 10.
Yeah, so it's happening live. The top 10 list is happening live. Once we get to a certain point, things are going to fall away, but they might come back if somebody else chooses them. So a live top 10 making is something that EW, Entertainment Weekly, wishes they came up with back in the day, but they had neither the technology nor the intelligence to come up with that.
Get on us, EW. I'm going to start this off. Mike, I would love for you to give us our first list. Give us your number 10 top show. Did that make sense?
Yeah, we got
that.
this.
Was that it?
Yeah.
You said I'm going to start this by giving it to Mike.
Finish. Yeah, he said, I'm going to kick this off. Mike, please do it. And now, so I did make a top 26, so 11 through 26 should just go fuck themselves. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'll blog about it later.
I came up with the top 20, and they're just not going to get points. It sucks.
No, there's no point. It would take too long. But I will say, for somebody who complained, not as much as some of our past co-hosts, about these shows, that there was 26 shows I honestly fucking loved to watch. But my number 10, and this feels unfair because they had to make one thing one time, but the 10th best thing we've ever watched was Werewolf by Night.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. This was very good and surprising. This is what I've struggled with, is if it was short-lived, I was more nostalgic for it. But
I liked it more.
Not enough time to grow to hate it.
Yeah. And I wasn't sure if it was fair. So I feel good that you have done this as well.
And I don't need what's Werewolf by Night gonna do in their version of Groundhog Day, like every other long-running show gave us eventually. So that's fine.
It's something that was unlike anything else we watched or covered.
Yes.
Which I think helps a lot too. And again, they just had to give us one cool thing, and they did do that. They nailed that. That was perfect.
And it was cool as hell. And we shouldn't rank on this, but in an era that the company Marvel was not churning out cool new tricks, and then they did give us one.
Well, it's the only time where they said we have an hour's worth of material. let's make an hour's worth of stuff as far as the TV thing goes.
Ryan, give me your number 10.
All right. I don't know if this show is going to be talked about for the rest of the night, so I'm glad to get it out here now. It was weird making this list because it was about quality as a professional TV critic, and a little bit about importance to the show. And I'm not sure, even though it wasn't one of the core 4 that started the podcast, I'm not sure if there's another show more important to this podcast than Riverdale. So that's my number 10.
Hell yeah. If this is ranked on one of ours, do I give my number for it
No.
too? Okay. Shove that
But talk
right down.
about it.
But
We can talk about it here.
This is Riverdale feels like part of the DNA of Superhero Show. It was I don't even know how many seasons, but when I like think back on like all the shows we've covered, Riverdale is one of the ones that always pops up in my mind, and it's fondly because it was batshit.
Yeah, sometimes it was mediocre, and that's when it was bad. But when it was bad, it was great. And when it was good, it was good. You know, like it just, and it was, but part of podcasting is I need stuff to talk about. And
Yes.
Riverdale never disappointed in that.
The only show, and Marvel should have taken a page out of Riverdale's book, the only show to blow a season's load every episode.
Yeah, truly, like they didn't hold back. I don't know if they thought they were only getting 2 seasons, but I just remember watching it and being like, surely they're running out at some point.
Yeah. Riverdale would be like in one episode, be like, all right, we're going to do Werewolf by Night. We're also going to need Werewolf by Morning and Werewolf by Late Afternoon. Just everybody come on in.
It gave us the psychopath gene, or no, I'm sorry, the serial killer gene.
Serial killer gene, yes. Thank you very much.
Jingle
Chad
Jangle.
Michael Murray, Jingle Jangle, Chad Michael Murray in a fucking Evil Knievel suit, rocket to the moon.
Yep. Did he ever make it?
No, I think he died instantly.
Yeah.
Evil Dungeons and Dragons, like there's so many golden moments of Riverdale.
When we were really trying to determine if there was going to be magic or supernatural on this,
shit.
it was a huge debate.
Yeah.
That was all because of Dark D&D. That gave us that.
Oh, D&D.
I also, the amount of times I think about that underground fight club from Archie in jail.
Yeah.
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 That was a thing.
And the
Archie surviving a bear attack.
God, you'll never experience the highs and lows of high school football.
Archie on stage saying, I was born alone, so I'm going to die alone. I'm going to sing alone. Just like,
I start every karaoke performance with that quote.
if you like pina colada. I just like, I don't know how this podcast would have gotten through the middle era.
Yeah.
I came out so long ago, but still, it feels like this middle era where it carried us.
Oh, yeah. It was also one, like, when people ask, like, I would love to recommend Riverdale to people, but I would love to give them a specified list of, like, here's an abridged Riverdale for you to hop in to get
Yeah.
just the madness of it. Because that's what you need to experience is just the madness of it. It needed to be on this list. I'm glad it's on yours as number 10, right?
Yes.
It feels good there because again, this was one where they did so much and it also went for so long that ranking it any higher or much higher is kind of crazy.
I mean, so far on the list, we only have 2 shows. One is an hour and one is 1,000 hours.
So you get both of them. I'm gonna lean more towards Mike with my number 10. For my number 10, I am not okay with this because this show just really stuck with me, and I think it stuck with me because we didn't get resolution, and it's rocked me to my absolute core.
Was this Netflix?
This was a Netflix
Where
show,
they're like,
Yeah,
who
one of the-
cares? Cancel it. Nobody,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
and it was
A rare Netflix good show.
a rare, and I feel like we were in a desert at the point of watching this, and this I really latched onto. And for them to like spend the time, like these people really like built up the season because she doesn't get her powers. Like we cover superhero shows, she doesn't get powers until
Yeah.
the final episode, and that's the final episode ever created. Like that's insane.
That's a little Surf Dracula.
I know.
But there's so much what so many other shows think they're doing. This show was just giving us like a good Sundance indie movie about a poor girl
Mm-hmm.
whose like things are just getting sort of weird around on the way up, and the relationships mattered so much, and like get a good actor to hold your whole thing down.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought we were going to see Sophia Lillis everywhere, and it's only been like this and the D&D movie.
Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy. She's so talented. But the show, it feels insane to say. I honestly feel like this had everything going for it. We were invested in the characters. A lot of times they were like high schoolers, and that can be a hard point for a lot of these shows that we watch, is if
Yes.
they do that correctly. They just all felt so real. They were little weirdos in a way that we all really connected with, or maybe just me. It's a good show. If you watch it, no, there is no resolution for you, and you will be haunted like I am. But give it a shot. That is my number 10.
And I wonder if you'll see on our top 10 list that we're making these oases
Mhm.
of no tights and flights, where we just feel like we're reviewing a well-made show instead of like talking about like, wasn't
Yeah.
it cool when?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's go to our number 9s. Mike, what is your number 9 show?
Spitting in the face of Ryan saying no tights and flights. And surprising me, my second Marvel in a row is WandaVision.
Okay.
This was Marvel's first TV show, and I think it had 7 episodes, and 6 of them were fucking dope as hell.
What was the bad one?
The last one.
Oh, because there was like all the shooting from your hands and stuff.
Yeah, my purple versus your red were floating, just clawing the air at each other.
Yeah.
After kind of for 6 episodes saying how dumb that kind of thing is.
Mm-hmm.
But lover of TV addict, and the people who made it are, and just their journey through sitcoms through the eras. They hit each era and tone perfectly, showing off in a way that the movies never really let Elizabeth Olsen shine, and then bringing the amazing Catherine Hahn into the MCU.
I mean, do we even know, did they come up with this premise because they put the words Wanda and Vision together and they thought of it from there? Probably. Did I want this show? Let me answer it like this. Yes, no, maybe. Can you repeat the question?
It was, I remember, like, there was a weird energy around this one when it came out, because we were like excited, and then like it took a turn of everybody being like, well, can it be that creative? Like, can it hold up to what it's trying to do? And I remember enjoying the episodes. Like, there was just a lot of weirdness around this one, I feel.
And I remember them too pushing it up forward to come out before Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Mm-hmm.
because that show wasn't done, but also they had a lot of confidence in this. And I would say it was all downhill from there.
Yeah.
Except for Werewolf by Night, I guess. But no, even that was lower on Mike's list. So it was all downhill from there.
Ryan, let's go to your number 9. What do you got?
My number 9 is another incredibly important show to this podcast.
Vital.
It is one of the core 4. It was the show that made me, one of the shows that made me and Mike go around and saying, no, I swear to God, like, it got good and kind of funny. Once it got the MCU shit out of its way. It is Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I know that the double plural up front is wonky and hard to say. And I know that the S.H.I.E.L.D. acronym makes it hard to type, but still a fun show to talk about, I think. Mike, some of our fondest memories are about that show.
We would not exist without this show. And it showed like the loose connection, which all of Marvel should have done the whole time, is there, and that like we're gonna thematically, Doctor Strange is coming out, so our season is gonna be about magic.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do short runs, so we have a season of 20 episodes. 6 episodes are a chapter, and these chapters, unlike Spider-Man, fucking matter. And to tell small contained stories, and then tiny Marvel characters who would never have gotten a shine, like Quake, to invented characters who are the light of our life and we never talk about them enough. Deke.
Like Deke. I also think looking back on it too, because I was just wondering when making this list, is this number 1 or is this not on the list at all? You know,
Right.
like I was sort of confused. And then I looked at the list of characters and I was like, there's no other show where I care about the future of these characters more. Like this did so, like it wasn't supposed to work like this, but once so many things got out of its way, I thought that it was really great. I will say though that this is the one show where, as new people came on the show and, you know, were panelists with me and Mike, they would watch and love Riverdale or even Arrow. This one, everybody was like, no, man, it still sucks. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I think you had to go through the journey, and also fuck them. They're idiots. That's mostly that.
There was this one. I'm going to say there's a Stockholm syndrome that will get these ranked sometimes. This one had good moments, but this is one that is just part of the core of the show that I don't know if it's because we're half broken from this. But there are some good episodes, but it's also like some stinkeroos.
Sure, the first season is trash until the Grant Ward twist. The Winter Soldier came out, and they finally could start doing the show they actually wanted to make. But I think there's gold. There's fucking gold in them hills that people don't appreciate enough.
Okay, I'm gonna go to we are at number 9 now, right? Yeah, we haven't.
Yes.
We're in this. Mine's Riverdale. We've already talked about it. Again, it is where it is, but it's a part of the show. Let's go to number 8. Mike, what do you got?
We just talked about it. It's Marvel's Agents of SHIELD.
Heck yeah.
Which stands for what?
Strategic Homeland Intelligence Entertainment Light Division.
What I can tell the people is this one, you got to put the work in, because if you jump in, Coulson's a robot. There's a lot jumping around on this. You do need the foundation, and you got to put the work
Eventually, he's a robot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
For a while,
on.
he's just talking about going to Tahiti all the time, like your rich braggart friend. It's a beautiful place.
Beautiful. Ryan, what do you got for number 8?
My number 8 is WandaVision, which moves WandaVision and S.H.I.E.L.D. into a tie for first place.
Wow. Those are... Wow, guys. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. My number 8, it feels kind of low. I am feeling a little bit bad about where I rank this, but I have Harley Quinn as number 8. It's just because, again, there was some episodes that didn't hit as well. To cover the episodes, it was sometimes a little bit harder. Not to watch, a great time always was had. To talk about, sometimes you just are quoting back lines, and that's hard to do. But what I really appreciate about I feel like there hasn't been much like this, where there's just like so much redemption for Harley Quinn, like the character. Like, to have a show that I enjoyed watching of that, and just have so many rad characters that were like, honestly, we just love to quote.
It's so funny. From the guy who created Shit My Dad Says. So don't let somebody's first piece of art cloud their whole career.
Oh, I love this show, but I think Shit My Dad Says is far better.
I was a fan of the book based on the Twitter. It just the deep knowledge and lore in a way no other adaptation of anything has ever done. These people know DC inside and out. And as Jeff Ross, the roast master, says, you roast the ones you love. So they point out how fucking stupid DC is because they love it so much.
I mean, like, everyone's talking about Superman being more successful than Fantastic Four this summer, and is there going to be a switch? Maybe not. I'm too old to care, but this was the show that made me like nervous because of how Harley Quinn was. How they let that show deal with the DC universe as opposed to the protective kid gloves of Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, between all the dick and fart and vagina and vulva blowing jokes, just like we have seen these characters grow so much. And if we want to talk about the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and how affectionate I am for them, all of these characters that are in this show, when Harley's plant dies,
yeah,
I mean, I'm not supposed to react like that as a TV watcher.
Yeah,
right,
but I did.
That's one of the episodes that made me realize that this show I connected to more than I thought. When I truly I went to Comic-Con and somebody was dressed as Frank, and I was like, oh my god, R.I.P. Frank, and it truly hurt a little bit. I was like, oh, okay. It gets you. It's a way that all these, I feel like a lot of our big shows are going to come down to like good characters for us. And like, there's so many characters that everyone knows, but on this show, they made them good and laughable. And that's important to me specifically.
Mm-hmm. Me too, but I guess you called
me
it.
specifically.
Okay,
and
sorry.
That's my thing.
I hate when characters are well done.
Yeah. Mike notoriously hates that.
You like a medium rare.
Let's go on to our number 7s. Mike, what's your 7th ranked show?
This is so fascinating. I am not okay with this.
No way.
For all the reasons previously stated.
I actually didn't think that was going to be on anybody else's list, and that's rad. Ryan, that's now over to you. What's your number 7?
My number 7 is, man, guys, if you talk about Riverdale and the importance, I would say that the number one most important show to this podcast actually isn't like some of the ones we talked about where there is no Wikipedia coverage. It turns out that we found this show and it wasn't us that discovered it. There was a whole legion of fans, and it's Winona Earp.
Ah.
This show, again, like so many of these shows, started off slow with us. I remember Mike and I watching the pilot together, or the first episode, I don't know if it was a pilot, and saying like, oh my God, another one of fucking these. And then we spent 4 seasons in a movie, absolutely falling in love with not just the characters, but the style. Like, the show was nonstop funny. This is one of my favorite shows of all time.
So many shows since Buffy, people are like, this is the successor to Buffy. They were all dumb, wrong, and liars. Winona Earp is, and made even better because it's not made by a creep. Part of the reason that new show Revival is such a bummer is because it feels like they're hamstringing Melanie Scarafino. Be like, there's glimmers of Winona, right? But we're gonna watch a show for glimmers? For Winona droplets? No.
I mean, I'll watch the Glimmer show for glimmers. But that's the only one.
There's a couple shows that I feel like we had to like almost like it felt like we were begging people to give it a shot.
Yes.
This is one of them. This is one where it's like, hop on this. I guarantee you will have a good time.
And yeah, I think that Riverdale, you do have to do that top 10 you were talking about.
Yeah.
Like, here's your entry.
Yeah.
Because you need to enjoy it on a certain level. Winona Earp is undeniable. Like, it just, it is, the lore is fine and like the storylines are fine, but these characters together, and like if they just hung out playing pool or poker for an hour, would be one of the best episodes in TV history.
And letting the group evolve and grow, which is so hard to do for any show, right? It's one of the friends doesn't leave, and then they get a new friend, and they love that friend. But like Dolls, who was a corner of the show, fully leaves. They let Waverly change her character completely. Add Hot, like, you can put new people in, and if they get it, they fucking get it. And just this crew can grow and change because it's always Winona, Waverly, and Holiday. Yeah. And you have those 3, and everybody else will just form the jump into the double dutch that they create.
I also think it's like kind of a clinic in a fuck up lead, which is really hard because how long can they stay so immature? Just gently, gradually growing, you know, where by the time we got to that movie, she was totally different than the first episode, but also still our lovable fuck up, you know?
Yeah, not different. I think the closest I can think of is Jeff Winger in Community. He's not a great person by the end of that show.
Yeah.
But he's slightly better.
This is one that I'm hoping gets the Netflix Resident Alien treatment, where people can, like, once it's more accessible, I guess, they'll hop on and love it. But you should be watching it.
The Suits treatment?
The Suits treatment, absolutely.
Go to LA for one season, then get canceled?
Dude, I would watch the shit out of Winona Earp LA. Fish out of water.
My number 7 is Loki. And this is just one that, like, when making this, I was trying to pick which ones I like. When watching them, I was like, I can't miss an episode. And this one ended up like, I wouldn't miss an episode of Loki. And I just really enjoyed the story arc more than I expected. Like, I kept waiting for them to biff it harder, and they never really biffed it with this, and I was proud of them. So Loki is number 7.
I think I agree. I think it's awesome. But I think like the last quarter, so like the back half of the second season, I would sort of consider a biff. That's the part where I was like kind of rolling my eyes and like, when is this done? Low key, when is this done? Sorry.
But then we get that joke, and then it's back up for me.
That Ryan's joke elevates the show for sure. And yeah, it's that first season what took us all by surprise. And so this was their 3rd show. So it was like a great show that surprised us, a show that nobody liked but Mike, and then Loki. And Loki once again surprised people and shows be dope aesthetically. And let your charming lead be charming, and you can kind of break the canon and lore of what kind of person they're supposed to be, because just let Tom Hiddleston be Tom Hiddleston.
And I think that should be the test for casting from now on. And I think that this is something that like they've started to fail. Although like I like the Thunderbolts and I liked Fantastic Four, but like, can you do 2 seasons of a show? Can you do 12 episodes just hinging on your lead? Tom Hiddleston? Yeah. Yes, you can. Some of the more recent casting? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is heavily relying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we do also have like I just randomly Owen Wilson on a Sea-Doo will pop into my head, and I'm like, God, that's Loki.
Wow.
Wow. So it just really stuck with me, and I did enjoy it. That's my number 7, so we're going to our 6th place show. Mike, what is yours?
Mine, previously talked about, DC's Harley Quinn.
Yeah, it's a fun one. So let's go to you, Ryan. What is your 6th place show?
My 6th place show that launches Harley Quinn as the number 1 show, obviously. Mine is called X-Men 97.
Hell yeah.
And the stakes were high, ladies and gentlemen, especially because they decided, and this was a weird choice by them, where this podcast had just finished covering X-Men the animated series, and they were like, now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's strike while the iron is hot, and let's give them this. And I gotta say, do you guys remember how you felt before the first season or first episode dropped? Like, were you nervous? Were you
so nervous? I had just, on a show that some have called maybe too tongue-in-cheek, Ours, I had openly wept when we interviewed the Leewalds, so because their show made me literally the person I am. So I was more nervous than an adult man should be before a cartoon comes out.
But like, did you think that there was a chance that it could ruin what had come before, or just be boring slop like a lot of the Disney Plus stuff?
It could never ruin what came before, because what came before still exists. Do you hear me, Star Wars nerds? Shut the fuck up.
Although I will say, Cassie, last week Mike said Spider-Man the animated series made me like X-Men the animated series less. So I feel like that is sort of.
But today, in this context,
no.
And that's because they're from the same era, so that's different rules, obviously.
Obviously, I wasn't nervous at all. I was just excited to get more in any way, because I knew that like. At this point, they realized that what was good about X-Men was to make it dramatic, and I was like, as long as you give me that, and they did, but also made it a little slutty, I was here for it.
Oh, it was so slutty.
But not with Rogue.
Not
with Gambit.
Rogue. With Gambit.
With the half
put that
shirts.
boy in a midriff. And it gave us the Gambit Magneto Rogue triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they understood fully what... And it's... As Ryan... You're on this little island with me. It has been hard to be an open Scott Summers fan for as long as I've been alive.
Not hard for you guys, it doesn't seem like. It seemed pretty easy.
No, I would say being inside of the studio, we are fucking castigated constantly.
Whoa. Yes. So that's what makes it hard, Cassie. It's not hard to open our mouths, but it is hard to not get shit. And I do think from like minute 3 of episode 1 of this, we're just like, see, this is why.
When it was specifically for all the boys growing up watching this who were like needed to justify themselves, that episode existed for you guys.
That was a summer's vacation. When he started bouncing around the room by shooting his blast on the ground and then like parkouring Vision style, like, come on, Cassie. And I do believe in my memory, according to Ryan.com, Cassie was like, you were right the whole time. I was wrong. I'm sorry.
She was on her knees groveling. It was kind of sad.
Play back the tapes. I still said you guys were dumbs. Big old dum-dums.
Oh, I got a couple of dumbs here.
2 dumbs standing before me. Yeah, it was a great show.
The other thing too, and like I think this recently happened with the King of the Hill new season, is that it's just the perfect amount. What do you change and how do you change it? And if you try to redo the past, you're going to fail. If you try to make it exactly like TV is today, you're going to fail. And on almost every level, they were like, here are the tweaks that we need for 97 to be in 2025 or 4. And fucking bravo.
10 episodes better than 22.
Oh, absolutely. The theme song still rocked.
It still slaps as hell.
God, it's so good.
It was weird that they had a Chance the Rapper breakdown in there just to prove how modern they were. Like, Chance, settle down.
We get it. You love your cocoa butter kisses. What does that have to do with Mr. Sinister?
Which is weird that Chance asked that question in his lyrics.
What does this have to do? I'm going to go to my number 6 ranks, and I'm going to say that I'm worried that you guys are going to yell at me for this, for where it's placed. I am putting Watchmen at number 6. This is just an incredibly good show. This is just a show that they did incredibly well. Whatever you're into, you could jump in on this and enjoy this show.
Cassandra, I'm not going to yell at you because I am shocked that this is on your list at all. I didn't know quality was something you looked for.
Oh, wow.
This bitch 600 episodes.
We were just wondering what Mike would have to apologize about later, and I think we found it.
It's right here. Quality. As I said, I appreciate characters that are well written. Remember, that was my thing on the 600th
That was your
episode?
thing. Only you. Yeah.
Do you? Yeah, you're like TNT?
Yeah, we know drama and good characters.
USA is characters welcome.
Yeah.
USA, which had suits. Did you see the Zack Snyder film, Cassie?
I did.
And?
Fine.
It was fine. Okay. This is another thing of like, what do we change? What do we don't? What do we not?
Yes.
And this is like, I think we gave it TV show of the year.
Yeah.
Not comic book TV show.
Just
TV show of the year it came out.
And that was to all the co-hosts on the best of the year shows that we always do. Our co-hosts who have all quit this show in spite of us.
I will never watch The Flash again.
They still let a superhero TV show win show of the year. It is, I mean, just your Regina King, Jeremy Irons. It brought, I think it was the start of the Don John Renaissance.
as it's well known.
Yeah.
Gene Smart, like, is such a killer cast, and doing very much what you said about X-Men, Ryan, of like, what do you continue, what do you drop?
I'm surprised I haven't gone through this again, because there is no fucking way that watching each episode once per week as they came out, I totally got what was going on. But that being said, I was so enthralled, but also relieved. Again, in the same way of watching X-Men 97, of like, oh God, they're not Snydering it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not stepping on this thing that is so important to men of a certain age. You know, this initial, the comic book, not the Zack Snyder movie. That is not important to anybody. This show is incredible.
I thought you were ranking it to where the TV show Men of a Certain Age is in your heart.
But that would have been a better cast for Watchmen. As much as I love Gene Smart and Jeremy Irons, seeing Ray Romano and Andre Braugher in these costumes would have been amazing.
Just bobbing up on their surfboards, talking about their family issues.
That's what you think that show is? Every morning, at the beginning of every episode, they go surf.
Obviously.
I saw the pilot, and that's what they did, okay?
This Watchmen was one of the shows when we were watching it. It felt crazy that we were covering it. It felt crazy it was a comic book based TV show because its quality blew everything like that we watched out of the water. Like, it truly felt like when I was watching it, I forgot I should be taking notes because I would have to talk about it.
The same thing is like The Walking Dead World Beyond. Like, are we even allowed to talk about this?
For different, it was the same week. We'd have to do World Beyond, Watchmen, and Deadly Class. Like, come on.
Well, that's it for our episode or our segment on The Wire. Here's our segment on Blossom.
Do we keep that is a good we've all gone through our 6. We're at kind of at a halfway point here. Do we just keep powering through?
No, let's take a break, but do you want to hear the top 10 so far?
Yes, please.
Your number 10 show is Werewolf by Night. Number 9 is Riverdale. 8 is Loki. 7 is Winona Earp. 6 is Watchmen. Probably go lower somehow. 5 is I Am Not Okay With This. 4 is WandaVision. 3 is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 2 is X-Men 97. And number 1 is Harley Quinn. Guys, I got to say, we could stop right now.
We could just stop.
And that's a hell of a thing to send to our listeners.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about any of that. It's what's so fucking hard. Again, I said I made a top 25. Things were just changing throughout. Like, it is... We're going to be sad by the end of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be.
I would say there's roughly 16 shows that won't make it on here.
Yeah.
Some of which you've already heard.
And by the way, folks, if you're looking at this episode and it says that the runtime is 4.5 hours, we did add those 16 and we're going to get through them all.
We couldn't not talk about them. That is our halfway point though. So let's take a break. And when we come back, we're going to get our official top 5. Welcome back. It is time to give our top 5 list. Actually, it's not time because, Mike, I believe you have another clip to play to celebrate.
Yes, we have another friend turned frenemy of the superhero show, our co-host of Movie of the Year, Greg.
My time on the show, I was famously grumpy because I did not want to watch TV shows based on comic books or comic book properties, and I had no idea that that's what I was signing up for when I got on a show covering comic book TV shows. or anything related to that. And so I mostly performed under protest. But having said that, I did like being on the show quite a bit. And my list of top 5 shows will reflect what I liked so much about my time on the show. For number 5, I'm going to go with Legends of Tomorrow. This show is so goofy and so ridiculous and gave us all Bebo. And my number 5 pick and my number 4 pick are really more about the effect the shows had on us as a group and how fun it was to recount the details. That's definitely number 5, Legends of Tomorrow, but also that applies certainly to number 4, Riverdale. I feel like Riverdale kind of is the centerpiece of a lot of the show for a while. Just describing what happened on one episode of Riverdale was so bonkers, and it was fun to get into all of that and wonder where everything was going. The next 2 are shows that I legitimately liked. I was glad that I got to watch them and that we got to talk about them.
The next 2.
Number 3 is Doom Patrol. I was always surprised by the things that happened on Doom Patrol, and I was always interested in the characters, and I just felt like it was something kind of unique, and part of what was sometimes a drag about the show was all these shows seemed samey. Doom Patrol seemed very unique and interesting. And then I think we only got 1 season of this, but The Tick was hilarious and gave us Danger Boat, the boat that was also in love with another character, and just so much goofy fun. We sort of grown up with multiple versions of The Tick, and for a while we had this excellent version. And then I don't know if this counts. I don't know if I'm allowed to actually do this, but number 1 would be X-Men 97. That's just really good. I loved X-Men 97. A little bit after my time, honestly. I think maybe I guessed it on an episode where we talked about it, but just wow. X-Men 97. Wow. Such a good show. And then when we get to the Stinkeroo category, I thought most of the shows were pretty bad, to be honest. It was a drag. But there was one show that just really stood out. It was called The Gifted, and it was like somehow connected to the X-Men universe. And it just seemed like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were supposed to do to make a TV show. Sometimes it did not seem recognizable as television. It didn't obey the conventions, and I don't mean like, oh, it thought outside the box. I mean like it didn't have proper establishing shots. It was hard to understand the continuity of certain scenes, and a lot of the performances were just lost, and you felt bad for the performers. And that is it. That is my list of the shows that I loved and the shows that I loved less. But the best part of being on the show was hanging out and talking about what goofy television we had decided to make the center of what we do.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
It's crazy you talked about The Gifted as long as the other 5 put together, but
The placement of it also confused me. Was that his number 1 because of how bad it was?
No, he did his top 5 and then equal
Gave a
footing his
stinkeroo.
least favorite.
Yeah.
Yes.
for 700, should we do top 10 Stinkeroo?
Yes.
And I do think it's important to note that like Greg would sometimes not guess because we were doing 90s cartoons. So like he didn't fall for the charms of even X-Men, the animated series.
Right.
Yeah.
And then X-Men 97 turned out to be his number 1.
Yeah. It's a good one. All right, let's go to our official top 5, and I'm going to start it back with Mike. Mike, what is your number 5?
Speaking of, thanks for teeing me up, Greg. It is X-Men 97.
It's just like Greg said, it's so good. And like we said,
And I quote, wow.
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 All right, we've already talked about that. Ryan, give me your number 5.
So X-Men 97 moves into first place until right now,
Oh, shit.
when my number 5 is Harley Quinn, and that is back in first place.
We are who we are. My
Cassie ranking Harley Quinn the lowest, which is just
Why do you hate women, Cassie?
Yeah.
I know that's
try being a
number 1
feminist.
about me. My number 5, Greg talked about it. I'm glad that we now get to talk about it. It's The Tick. Again, this was one that like it didn't have too many seasons, which obviously helped it. But
It got canceled.
It got canceled, and it shouldn't have. It was so funny when you're looking for just like a dumb laugh, which I feel like is getting harder and harder to find. The Tick was there for us.
Yeah.
It was just a good time. Like you knew you threw it when you threw it on, you were gonna get just dumb laughs, and it was gonna be fun. And I love shows like that, and The Tick did I feel like every episode was so good and gave exactly what I expected. There were no stinkeroos for me with The Tick.
Just a killer cast, and in an era, I can't remember if The Boys was already out, but like an era where people were starting to be like, oh, let's make fun of comic books. To do it with a love and sincerity instead of like jizz jokes and look how awful people are. Like there's true heart in The Tick in a way that's really beautiful.
Yeah, and Garth Ennis, who created The Boys, like famously hated superheroes, and that's where The Boys came from.
It shows.
And I like The Boys, but like you can feel that in the show. Obviously, the creators of The Tick, which is both the comic book, not both, all the comic book, the 90s cartoon, the first live action TV show, and the second live action TV show, all have a deep love for this stuff. But I think that Peter Serafinowicz, who
nailed it.
You might know from, he was the guy in Europe who kept Andy Dwyer away from Pawnee so he can go shoot Guardians of the Galaxy.
He also was Sean's stuffy roommate in Shaun of the Dead.
And tall, an actual male actor who is tall. His depiction of The Tick, which was it was like Craig Ferguson got hit in the head. Just like still had the charm, but just nothing to say.
Yeah.
What a good performance.
It's also an easy one. If you never gave it a chance, it's an easy, quick watch, and it's a great time. I can't recommend it more. It's so great.
Unfortunately, Cassie, we are now past 10 shows, so The Tick moves into third place, and Werewolf by Night is pushed out.
Oh,
I knew it was going to happen.
I didn't know an acceptance speech was going to come after.
Can we not? Yeah, I think if you're the sole, if one you really loved got pushed, you get to talk.
Oh, yeah.
I knew it was going to happen, and there's part of me is like, oh, should I have done another one that somebody else mentioned so it could lead? Like, what the fuck does that mean, man? I loved Werewolf by Night. That's fine.
Okay, Mark Maron. I don't know why you're mad at us.
It's okay.
Boomer lives.
All right, let's go to our number 4. Mike, what is your 4th favorite show?
This show, it was early-ish on, start of the middle season, but also like shows were feeling samey. And God damn it, a show for adults that is insane. We talked so much, we're like, well, they're going to reveal the mystery of the Hulk hands. That's all we would fucking talk about. And it was another, at this time we were also loving the Fargo TV show, and it's another Noah Hawley who created that, and it's Legion, the story about Professor Xavier's erstwhile son, David. And an insanely good cast, another Jean Smart, shout out girl Jean.
Damn. She should be in the Shush Hall of Fame.
She probably should be. And yeah, just like Jermaine Clement, I can't remember the name of the lead guy who I definitely should know. Beast from the live action Beauty and the Beast.
Downton Abbey.
The
Guest.
But it's so fucking good and weird and trippy without being dumb, which so often trippy things can be.
And there's this whole there's so much mystery behind it when you're watching it. Like, you are trying to piece this all together. There's so much that means absolutely nothing and is just there for vibes and aesthetic. And then it's also one that just had good production.
I mean, an FX, a comic book based FX show, that was huge.
That was peak. That was big time for us.
It was our peak. Dan Stevens is the actor's name.
Dan Stevens, thank you. I was like, I knew it was a D. And I don't want to forget an amazing performance by Aubrey Plaza. She was so terrifying.
As one of the 3 Shadow Kings.
Yes.
And there was the normal guy, and then there was our big fucking fat purple buddy.
I have nightmares about that guy still. That guy was...
For me, not to shit on your pick, Mike, I think this show rules, but for me, it was the same as Loki, where the back quarter, the last half of the second
I fell
season,
off from it.
I wasn't sure about it or what was happening, and so, but the first,
I think its peaks are peak enough for me.
Yeah, for sure, and it was so exciting. It's
one that I would at a party if somebody asked me for a TV show, from all the ones we've watched, I would feel safe throwing this one out to anybody as well. It's just such a higher level one that anybody can jump in on this one.
And you look smart.
But that moves to number 3, kicking Riverdale off the top 10.
Oh,
I feel fine about that. Who wants to speechify?
Riverdale, you gave us so much and you will live fondly, but it's also probably proper for your time. And I would love a top 10 list for you at some point of your best episodes. Ryan, I believe it is now your turn for number 4.
So I would say that after Riverdale went away, the show that carried this podcast was Resident Alien.
Hell yeah.
And it wasn't as batshit, or it was purposefully batshit, as opposed to Riverdale, which we never knew what was purposeful and what wasn't. But Resident Alien comes down to a couple things, just really strong cast, and Alan Tudyk absolutely fucking crushing as a lead. And I guess this guy can do anything, but what I really do think that when he got the scripts, it was kind of basic as far as his dialogue goes, and he put into it what made every episode worth watching.
Yeah.
To capture the spirit of an alien trying to pretend to be human and then slowly learning to be human.
And how that makes him better and worse.
Yes. And he, by the end, especially, he can more like he just says the theme and morals of the TV show, and he doesn't make you want to spit your big gulp of Dr. Pepper at your TV.
Which we're all drinking. It's just another example of a show where everybody knew the vibe of the show and what to bring to it too, which because any of these characters could have fell flat, and there's not a flat character for me. I don't think. I love all of them and what they bring.
Even the mayor we turned around on, but
true. Yeah.
I think the big success story is Sheriff Mike, who was really 2-dimensional when the show started, and then. I mean, all we would talk about when we reviewed the show was how some guy wandered in onto the set and said the most insane things he could think of. And
became a core of the show. I feel like we don't have to get as many people on board on this because people have realized this one. So it feels good to have, it's not one we have to fight for. Of a dumb
What world do you live in that people have realized that this show's worth
watching? I've never talked to anybody other than you two about this.
Wait, really? It got a huge... Yeah. It came on Netflix. People jumped on this one.
Nice. Even my wife did. I think Netflix was a huge boon.
Yeah.
But...
Nice.
I'm encountering it somewhat in the wild, which really caught me off guard. So
I want it to get big enough that when you walk into Urban Outfitters, there's a Sheriff Mike's quotable quotas.
And you go to the music section and there's a vinyl of Sheriff Mike sings the hits.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that does move up to our top 4 and pushes Loki off the top 10.
That feels fine too.
That's her speech.
So far, I'm not mad at any of these. Again, because it did have its fall off. I enjoyed my time with it, but I'm not gonna say it should be an ultimate top 10.
I'll also say, to get a little behind the curtain, show a little leg, Cassie's "That's Fine" is a reason why this show's format is changing.
Yeah, that's fine. My number 4, we've talked about it in length, even our guests have. It's X-Men 97. It's just a really good one, and I really loved it. Mainly for Slutty Gambit.
Mainly.
How many Slutty Gambits are we going to see at Halloween?
God, no number is not enough.
It truly depends on the party you go to and the city you live in.
We're in big territory. It's our top 3 now, guys. Mike, what is your 3rd favorite show that we've ever covered?
I said my top 10 kept changing. This specific definitely kept changing. But talk about, it was not in our first 4. It came very soon after and was fucking dog shit. It was so bad that I understand if it's not on your list. But then it became the heart and soul of this show. And our pal Greg already mentioned it. It is DC's Legends of Tomorrow. Taking the bottom of the barrel characters of DC and making them the star of your show is bold. And then the dumber they made everybody, the better the show got.
I think the last time we did this exercise was not amalgamating the top 10, but doing a bracket. And it definitely won. And I think it won because of the quality of the show, but also the spirit of our podcast. Yeah, I mean, to watch this change and to be there with it at all steps. What it felt like is that we watched the first season when there was a bunch of studio notes.
Yes.
And then they went to cancel it, but they forgot to push the email or hit send on the email. And so they're wait, nobody's watching. And then they just did whatever the fuck they wanted. And it was so funny.
They just fired half the cast and then got new people who knew how to be funny.
Including Rip Taylor, who was the...
Rip. He was supposed to be the star. He was like the one name actor from the show because he was Rory from Doctor Who. And they're like, oh, a different timey-wimey show. We'll just throw him on DC's. And he biffed it.
This is the only show, I think, in history that has done this complete turnaround. To say, like, how so bad at the beginning and to become like a truly beloved show. I don't know another one that has made this hard of a turnaround. But Bebo is truly a champion to this podcast.
Bebo is life.
Bebo would die for Bebo. All of us, it's in our contract. So yeah, this one, it deserves to be a top 3.
And like, this and Riverdale are like so important to the show, but like, I feel more passion, I guess, for this show because its laughs were intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And at Riverdale, I never sort of knew what we were laughing at or with.
Yeah.
But like this show made us legitimately laugh because the genre is so dumb but lovable, just like we thought about it.
It research for me made me remember how great Return of the Mac is.
It's a good song.
And when we talk about that first season, it was a lot like that first Winona Earp, where we were like, it wasn't like how Greg talked about The Gifted and how nobody knew how to make TV, which is harsh. But the first season of Legends of Tomorrow was like, oh God, another one. Like, we just have to do this again and just go through the motions. And then they're like, well, let's be our own thing, which is the point of behind the scenes of the show. And then also the characters on the show. It's crazy.
A well-deserved top 3 for us. Ryan, what is your third show?
Real quick, that pushes Legends of Tomorrow to number 3. That pushes Winona Earp off the list.
Oh no!
That's the first one that does hurt.
And Watchmen is on the brink.
Oh.
What?
Oh no.
But I'm going to talk about neither of those. I'm going to talk about a show that this one I think we saw coming the least. The fact that it is my number 3 is the hardest to describe to people when you're talking about, hey, you should watch Riverdale, or hey, you should watch Winona Earp. But to stand up in front of one of my colleagues, one of my peers, and say, you know what fucking rules? Stargirl.
Yeah.
That is the hardest one. And I cannot believe when making this list, I couldn't move it lower than number 3.
This is one, it took, it was the most surprising thing. It's shocking to still talk about how good this show was, and it's one that was hard to get everyone on board because it is a bunch of high school kids.
It's CW as fuck, right? Like it's CW toned.
But also CW, it's closer to CW non-superhero, like older CW shows toned. Because at this point they were fully in, like, we know how to make, for good or bad, we know how to make a superhero show in CW. And Stargirl decided to go, we're not gonna look or sound like you guys at fucking all.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how you can tell somebody's age? Somebody who says, this CW show sucks. Not like CW was back in my day. Those were the good shows.
But there was, I don't know, there was heart to this one. The characters were good. They had real life drama, and they told the stories well. And then there was still the absurdity. Like, there was still the hockey, the big bad guy for one of them was that dad who was just really into sports.
Casey Jones.
Yeah. Like, it still had its moments, and it's a delightful show.
The drama between, who was that Jeff Hiller guy you talked about from Community?
Jeff Winger.
Jeff Winger.
Could they Starman?
The Starman. And like, is he good? Is he bad? The stepfather stepdaughter drama, and I'm not talking about like it is with the movies Mike watches, but like just on a CW level. I don't remember who the mom was. Oh, it was Amy Smart.
It was Amy Smart.
Yeah.
She was great. But like Luke Wilson and Breck
Bassinger.
Yes.
Breck Bassinger. Their relationship is great.
And we had our speed bumps. Luke Wilson's son was rough for us for a while.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and then they came up with this crew, and they had the angry hour man and the smarty. Who's the girl with the goggles? Dr. Midnight.
Dr. Midnight.
But this was a show that like
Wildcat, the legacy characters.
And then Wildcat, and then I would not miss an episode because I couldn't see how all 17 of the dramas that were going on would inch forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I love this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
And it's one that it is so hard to get people on board for.
Yeah, dude. You know what? Fuck them. Like, miss it.
but you shouldn't. But yeah, that goes to my number 3 spot,
And that pushes Watchmen. Watchmen and Winona Earp are off the list.
can they come back?
They absolutely can. It's just
Okay.
that right now they are out.
Because this is the spot that you guys will have to yell at me, and I'm sorry for doing this. This is the one that I am doing. My number 3 is Daredevil, because I am who I am. Daredevil connected with me. I love this show so much. There's not many of our shows that is my comfort to like throw back on.
That's
And
fucking crazy.
I know,
Like,
I know. Okay,
Yeah.
but I have to stay true to me. I will put Daredevil on because it kicks ass. That first one
It's
is
so cozy.
the only person I can see putting it on over and over again just to torture themselves is Matt Murdock and Cassie.
Because he loves self-flagellation. Yeah, I think without it came years before you joined the show, but I think without Daredevil, I don't know if we would have been like, "Hey, Cassie, you want to do this dumb thing with us?" We just
Yeah, that's
your
true.
dogs are named after them. Like,
Now,
Yeah.
do you include 1, 2, and 3? Like, is Born Again included, or do you just disregard that?
in my mind, I'm disregarding Born Again, but there's moments of it where I'm like, I feel like it helps my case as well, because there was good moments to Born Again, but then some was also
Like the bank episode that
I was-
all the cast hated.
the cast hates it. The internet hates this. We are alone, and we are correct. It was the best episode.
It's good. It just has it's just that show for me. So
Yeah.
sorry, world.
I
but it's
think,
on here.
and is
They're
this
great
this,
moments.
this is the first Netflix Marvel show mentioned, and
Yep.
I think this is one of the ways where like binging really hurt the shows or helped the shows, and the way that we did it is one at a time and had time to think about it and talk about it, and like
Mhm.
I got so bored by even my favorite Netflix show, which was Jessica Jones, wore me down, and the
Yeah.
worst of them were like really hard to watch.
Iron
Yeah.
Fist.
Oh god. Oh man. But I mean, Daredevil gave us like the term like hallway fight scene. Like
Hallway
it's,
fight, yeah.
it's what we rank all
Stolen
fights
from Old
against.
Boy, but yeah.
It's like our bar now for like fight scenes. So like
Yes.
it's just it kind of changed a little bit comic book shows. Like
And
I feel-
then not just the hallway, but the one time in superhero show history where we played a scene live and talked about it was
Yeah.
the escape from the prison.
that episode goes
I
so
think about
hard.
that scene all the time.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
But it's like what we were talking about in the beginning of the segment where Werewolf by Night was like, oh, you have 1 hour? Do the 1 hour.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and there was just so many. This is like Daredevil was the show that created there was 6 episodes in the middle, and that should have been 3. Good pick
Right.
though, Cassie.
Thank you.
And for all the things I thought it might be, I'm not going to fight you for this.
Okay. All right. I did not get yelled at, and that's huge.
Oh.
I will take that.
I got so excited because I thought it was going to be one thing, but
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it because maybe it's higher on the list.
So
that
that's-
pushes I Am Not Okay With This off the list.
it's sad, but again, I don't know anybody else who's watched it besides us.
And WandaVision
Would you say
at the
I
tippy.
am okay with this?
I accept this. I will work on being okay with this. We are now to our top 2. Mike, what is your second all-time favorite show we have covered?
I am who I am. Okay?
Popeye? You chose Popeye?
I'm. Do you guys not? We never talked about it, but there's a great Popeye. I love zombies. I love detective shows. So if somebody eats a little brain and takes on the personality of whoever she ate every episode, so we have to see 80 versions of Rose McIver throughout this show. Fuck yeah, man. iZombie. It's a Rob Thomas joint, not the one you're thinking, and he makes phenomenal shows. and it is. I understand if nobody else remembers the show existing. Also, the end was not the strongest, but this show is just too up my butt.
Look, man, we got to do the thing. This is the Chuck Klosterman, Paul Simon. Is it Paul Simon or Billy Joel theory? Where like you're not your entire oeuvre. You're the peak of your oeuvre. And I might be using that word wrong, but this was my number 11 show. I couldn't find a way to put it in, but again, so important to this podcast and to us. I believe that in our initial podcast or a studio, which was run out of my garage, it was fully decorated in iZombie. Like there was giant posters everywhere
for a long time.
Yeah. What an amazing show. And this had the banter of like a Buffy, but without the, like you said about Winona, like without the
Earp,
dirtiness
which was
of
my number 11.
without all of the disgustingness of the creator. This was another show where I could just watch this cast play poker and I would be totally fine.
And launched so many careers. I think the big three just like are now people who all kind of do what they want to do at all times. In the nerd world. I'm not talking real Hollywood. In the cool, weird, nerdy world.
I mean, we wouldn't know this because we're super cool and do this show, but Rose McIver's on like the biggest network comedy in the last 10 years. Who's the big three?
Rahul, he was Ravi.
Uh-huh.
He's now gone on to, he's voiced a bunch of people in video games because that's what he wants to do. He is, I would say, I love the guy. He is too open on social media and talks about it. He names names of who he hates, who he won't work with, and he'll just say no to stuff his agents want to do. He's now in the Mike Flanagan.
Oh, that's true. That's
household.
where I've seen him so many times.
And then the cop Malcolm. He's shown up in Mike Flanagan's and then shows up. I guess of the big three, he's less everywhere.
But Mike Flanagan likes himself some iZombie.
Yes, for sure. He's chomping in the bit to get Rose on there.
This too, like it sort of goes against what we liked in the TV that we were watching outside of comic books, which is we don't want one and dones anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And this was such a good way to do a one and done with all the lore around it that we wanted.
And doing the perfect, why it's like Buffy is there's one and dones, but the big giant meta structure narrative is going on in the back.
Yeah, but it's also like the premise feels like you would get tired of like meeting a new character each time. The characters are all delightful.
Yeah,
like as soon as you just want to know what brain she's getting and see what happens. Like it's a delightful watch.
It never
one
did
of the all-time.
It never did the quantum leap thing, where he jumps into a different body, and then one episode he looked in the mirror and he had Down syndrome.
No, it
did not do
that. They wrote it and she kept saying no. Donnie was a great villain, but one of the best all-time great villains because he was such a you love to hate him was Blaine. He just a dirtbag drug dealer, but the moment that you're like, oh, the perfect TV villain is when he has a guitar and he's like, this is actually Kurt Cobain's. And he starts trying to play it for somebody who's at his house.
And I feel like I haven't watched as much Buffy as you have anywhere close, but like that feels like a Joss Whedon inspired character. Like,
yeah,
Blaine,
he's
it's
a Spike.
The bleached hair and the too cool dialogue, you know?
Yes,
it's a solid one. It's one that makes sense for you and for the show, but it also is just a really good show. I think it's a solid pick. Ryan, your number 2 favorite show of all time that we have covered.
It was so hard to put Legends of Tomorrow number 2, but I did it.
Yay!
And that brings Legends into second place, still behind X-Men 97.
Well, yeah. All right, my number 2 is going to be Superman and Lois. Because this was just another show.
Good call.
Hey guys, hear me out. It's one that
was a show.
It was a show, but it's one where the way they portrayed Superman and Lois as like real people, and when it was just them two figuring out how to be parents, it was at its strongest. But it also had just really cool superhero moments, and to live up to Superman is a big task, but it was a really good watch every time. I really looked forward to always getting this one.
This show is important to me in the lore of the podcast because at this point, and we were so close to being done. We didn't know it at the time, but we were so close to being done with the weekly shows that I was like, CW. I was like Greg at this point, like not for me.
Yeah.
And then the way that you two and Caitlin would talk about the show, I was like, should I? And then I did. I was like, hell fucking yeah.
Yeah.
It is so rare for a show that's like, made for kids really. And it's clear they thought that the boys were going to be the age. They're not quite there, but Clark and Lois are almost at Coach and Tammy for me. Like, I want to watch the parents and hang out with them. This is what a marriage should be.
Yeah.
And I think that this is along the lines of Stargirl, where it is so much harder to recommend than Riverdale or Resident Alien because it is very earnest and it is very CW and corny. But man, watch the first one and you're going to be like, ugh. Watch the second one, wherever you start, and you're going to be like, all right, I'm going to watch every single episode.
Yeah.
And this was the start of giving us real Superman back. Of like the earnest, optimistic Superman. It was Superman and Lois. I mean, it was his appearances in Supergirl first and Superman Lois, then My Adventures, and then the movie that just came out.
So both Superman and Lois and Watchmen are about the D. Snydering, not D. Snyder,
Yes.
the guitarist from that band, but the D. Snydering of these superheroes.
Twisted Sister? Is that?
I think it is.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it is hard to recommend, but it has such a fond place in my heart. It's great.
And it pushes Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. off the top 10.
You jerk.
It wasn't that passionate, so I don't feel that bad about it. It was a very calm "you jerk," so I'll take it. It is now time for us to each give our number one shows. Mike, what is yours?
It was off the list. It's going to be back on the list. Talking about de-Snydering, it's Watchmen.
Hell yeah. Yeah, this is one that makes sense. I feel like if anybody was making a list, a Watchmen would be easily a top 3, but a number 1 for a lot because it was just so quality. Ryan, what is your number 1?
Watchmen moves into first place.
Hell yeah, with a resounding lead, I'm sure.
The Tick moves off, but we have our top 10. Cassie, we have one pick left.
Oh God, guys. It's one that is hard to explain, but we've already talked about it. It's Stargirl is my number 1 for
Oh,
me.
yes.
Just again because
Nice.
of how surprising it was. It's a kick-ass show. And that's my number 1. So Ryan, please calculate it all and give us our official superhero show top 10 shows.
Before we get there, when you said you guys are going to hate me for this one, I thought it was going to be Vagrant Queen.
Oh, dude, it almost made my list.
Yeah?
Yeah. But
yeah,
then
that
I really-
one, like, it was fun. But...
Yeah, I also fell off of it. Like when I enjoyed it, but also I quickly fell off from it. So it felt hard to justify as a top 10.
I think there's a huge jump between average and good.
Yes.
And that definitely made the leap from average towards good. I thought that show was cool.
Crazy music scenes. Before we do the big reveal top 10, because that feels like that should close this section out, is I want to shout out, they didn't get on the list. Some of them were mentioned and sort of on the list for a while.
I would do
But
this
our
too.
granddaddies, 2010, Walking Dead came out. And amazing pilot. Let's leave it there. Let's be nice. Walking Dead came out 2010. 2 years later, Arrow came out. And I felt like, because I was a Smallville kid, I was watching Arrow and talking about it to nobody and felt like such a little weirdo. 2013, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then 2014, Gotham came out. And that's when we were like, there's 4 of these, about 1 a year. We could do that. Let's do this podcast. And the superhero at the time, Our Hour, was born.
2 title changes before. Yeah, Gotham has another similar route like Legends of Tomorrow, where we were like, fuck this. Oh,
Yes.
Is this fun? I want to shout out a couple of other important ones. My Adventures with Superman, as Mike talked about, was an amazing cartoon. Ms. Marvel, I think, was the closest to what we wanted out of all the Disney Plus shows. Lucifer, guys.
Lucifer.
It almost made mine.
Crime fighting devil. Don't think about it.
There's no show that sucked more and got better and
Yes.
had us more engaged than the show Lucifer. Again, never tell your friends about that. Just watch it and keep
No.
it to yourself.
Yeah.
Greg mentioned Doom Patrol, which I
Mhm.
think probably just missed our list. And Cassie, I'm sorry, but The Boys. It's got to be
The
talked about.
Boys.
You can talk about it.
It was really good before they started to try to make 8 shows. And I'd say elevated its source material so well. If you hate, we've probably said this a bunch. If you hate the show, Cassie, never fucking read the comics because there's
Oh, yeah.
there's no morality, there's no thought. It's just cringe and going blue. I also want to shout out, very similar to I'm Not Okay With This, The End of the Fucking World.
Mm.
That show rocked for 2 seasons.
And both of those actors are in a ton of things. The boy,
Yeah.
the guy is in Alien Earth right now. Naomi Aki is in Sorry Baby, the movie from this year. So yeah, that show was awesome. All right, guys, real quick. Werewolf by Night, Riverdale, Loki, Winona Earp. I'm Not Okay With This, WandaVision, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and The Tick are not in the top 10.
Dang.
And I guess that speaks to the greatness of the top 10, but also fuck. Like,
Yeah.
that sucks. Your number 10 show of the Shush era is Resident Alien.
That feels right.
Hell yeah.
Number 9 is Legion. Number 8 is Daredevil. Number 7 is Superman and Lois. Number 6 is I, Zombie. Number 5 is Harley Quinn. Number 4 is Legends of Tomorrow. Number 3 is Stargirl. 2 is X-Men 97, and 1 is Watchmen. I gotta say, pretty representative.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else would create this list, but it's absolutely ours. And there's
For sure.
Yeah. I'm happy with it. I'm glad it's not just your typical top 10. It's truly what we have enjoyed through all of our years, as Nate said, a whole month straight. So
what prize do you get if you do it? If you lock yourself in a cell and you do start to finish all of Superhero Hour show?
a deeper cell?
Yeah.
My social security number.
All right, guys.
Steal my identity.
That is it for our first. We have our top 10 list. If you haven't checked out any of those shows, you absolutely should. Now we have the big task that is figuring out what show we are going to cover next. So stay tuned. When we come back, we are going through a bracket. Uh-oh. Sorry to interrupt. It looks like we had too much fun celebrating our 600th episode, though. It got a little long. We couldn't stop talking. We were way too excited. So instead of putting you guys through 2 hours of us talking, we are going to split this up. We are going to celebrate 600 episodes for 2 weeks. So now that we have our official top 10 list figured out, we're going to call this episode here. And next week, for part 2 of celebrating 600 episodes, we are going to figure out what show we are covering next when we go through our bracket. Thank you all for getting us to 600. We're excited to celebrate and can't wait to celebrate again next week. So that is now officially it for this episode. For Mike, I'm Ryan. For Ryan, I'm Mike. For me, I am me. Bye, everyone.